What if I told you you can leave Disney's Animal Kingdom, climb aboard a safari truck, and suddenly find yourself surrounded by real giraffes, elephants, lions, zebras, rhinos, and hippos without ever leaving Walt Disney World? Hi Disney friends, it's Joni from Mom and Me and Disney, and if you're planning a Walt Disney World vacation, you're in the right place. If you are a first-time visitor, make sure you subscribe because we're here to help you make the most of your vacation. Kilimanjaro Safaris is one of those Disney attractions that can be easy to overlook when you're planning your Animal Kingdom day, but for many guests, it's one of the experiences they'll remember most. So if this is your Walt Disney World vacation you're planning, we're helping you break down everything you need to know before you ride. Kilimanjaro Safaris is a guided safari experience through the fictional Harambe Wildlife Reserve located in the Africa section of Disney's Animal Kingdom. Instead of sitting in a traditional ride vehicle on a track, you're going to climb aboard an open-aired safari truck and travel through a massive landscape designed to resemble an African savanna. Disney currently describes the reserve as covering 110 acres and being home to more than 30 species of animals. The experience itself lasts about 18 minutes, although your actual experience can vary because, well, animals don't exactly agree to follow the Disney ride schedule. And that's one of the things that makes this attraction so different from most Disney rides. The animals are real. They're not animatronics and they aren't performing on cue. Your safari can be completely different from someone else's depending on where the animals happen to be that day. You might get an incredible giraffe encounter one time and then see something completely different on your next visit. Kilimanjaro Safaris debuted along with Disney's Animal Kingdom on April 22, 1998, which was Earth Day. The park was designed around the idea of connecting guests with animals, nature, and conservation. So Kilimanjaro Safaris has been an important part of Animal Kingdom's story from day one. The attraction story places you in the village of Harambe, where you're heading out on a guided expedition into the wildlife reserve. Disney Imagineers didn't simply build an enclosure and put a safari truck inside it. The landscape was designed with different habitats, terrain, water features, and spaces that allow the animals to behave naturally. Disney has specifically highlighted the size of the attraction and the care taken to create environments where its animals can thrive. There have also been changes to this experience over the years. In 2016, Disney also introduced a nighttime version of Kilimanjaro Safaris, giving guests the opportunity to see the reserve and its residents after dark. Now, let's talk about the part you're probably most excited about, the animals. There are a lot of different animals you could encounter during your safari, including giraffes, elephants, lions, zebras, hippos, rhinos, cheetahs, crocodiles, hyenas, painted dogs, and I could keep going on, there's so many. Disney says that the reserve features more than 30 species, and the exact animals you can see vary from trip to trip. And this is where we think you need to adjust your expectations just a little bit if this is your first visit. This isn't a zoo, where every animal is guaranteed to be standing in a specific spot waiting for you. Some animals may be out in the open, while others may be further away or partially hidden. That's part of what makes the experience feel like an actual safari. You could be watching a giraffe walk right past your vehicle 1 minute, and then spend several minutes searching for a lion that has decided to take a nap somewhere just out of sight. And honestly, we think that this is part of the fun of this attraction. Keeping your eyes moving and listening to your guide because they can often point out animals you might have otherwise completely missed. So who should ride Kilimanjaro Safaris? Honestly, almost everyone. There is no height requirement, which makes it one of the easiest Animal Kingdom attractions to experience with young children. It's a particularly great option for families because you don't have to worry about a child being tall enough for the attraction, and kids who love animals can get a completely different experience from what they'd find on a traditional Disney ride. It's also great for adults, grandparents, animal lovers, photographers, and anyone who appreciates experiences that are a little slower paced. If you're looking for a thrill ride, this probably isn't going to be the highlight of your day. But if you want something unique to Disney World that you really can't replicate at home, this is absolutely worth considering. And if you have someone in your group who doesn't love roller coasters or intense attractions, Kilimanjaro Safaris is a fantastic way to experience something together without worrying about height requirements or scary ride vehicles. One thing that we like to explain to first-time guests is that Kilimanjaro Safaris isn't really a quote-unquote ride in the traditional sense. Yes, you're in a vehicle and you're moving through the attraction, but the experience is more about the animals and your surroundings than the vehicle itself. The safari truck is driven by a cast member who acts as your guide, sharing information and pointing out animals along the way. Because you're traveling over different terrain, the ride can also be a little bumpy in places, so don't expect a perfectly smooth bus ride. That combination of the guide, the environment, and the unpredictability of the animals is what makes this attraction so special. If seeing animals is your top priority, we'd recommend thinking about when you ride rather than simply squeezing it into whatever time happens to be available. Animals have their own schedules, and cooler parts of the day can be a great time to look for more activity. Early morning can be particularly appealing because you're starting the day before the Florida heat really kicks in. Late afternoon can also offer different experiences as temperatures begin to cool off. That said, there are never guarantees. Even if you ride at what is considered the best time, the animals are still going to be doing whatever they want. And that's exactly why we think riding it more than once can actually be worthwhile, if Kilimanjaro Safaris is something you really want to experience and the animals are something that you enjoy. So here are some tips that we think will make your ride even better. The first tip is to bring your camera and keep it ready. You never know when an animal is going to wander close to the vehicle, and those moments can happen very quickly. Disney itself recommends keeping your eyes open and your camera ready. Our second tip is to listen to your guide. It's easy to get so focused on taking pictures that you miss some of the information that's being shared. Your guide can add a lot to the experience by explaining what you're seeing and helping you spot the animals. And finally, don't get discouraged if you don't see everything you hoped for. If you don't see a particular animal that's on your first safari, that's on your must-see list, that doesn't mean you won't see it the next time. That's actually part of the reason we love this attraction. The experience isn't exactly the same every time. So if you're visiting Animal Kingdom for the first time, should Kilimanjaro Safaris be on your list? Absolutely. For us, this is one of those attractions that really defines what makes Animal Kingdom different from the other Disney parks. You can find roller coasters and screen-based attractions at plenty of theme parks, but sitting in an open-air vehicle while a giraffe walks by is pretty unique to Disney's Animal Kingdom. And because there's no height requirement, it's an attraction that your entire family can enjoy together. If you're deciding which Animal Kingdom attractions deserve priority, we'd definitely put Kilimanjaro Safaris on the list, especially if you love animals or want to experience something that's different from a traditional Disney ride. Kilimanjaro Safaris is one of those Disney experiences where the magic comes from not knowing exactly what's going to happen. You might see a huge herd of animals, you might get an amazing close-up of a giraffe, or you might spend part of your safari searching for an animal that's decided to hide. But that's what makes every trip unique. So if you're planning your Disney World vacation, don't make the mistake of thinking Animal Kingdom is just about the thrill rides. Kilimanjaro Safaris is absolutely worth making time for. What's the coolest animal you've ever seen in person? Let us know in the comments because we'd love to hear about your best animal encounters. Thanks so much for watching. Now sit back and watch some of our favorite moments from recent safaris we've been on, and as always, have a magical day. We're starting in what is called the Little
military forest, and immediately on the left side, hiding in the bushes, there's a bunch of bongos. Those are an antelope species up there on that hill, that chestnut-colored antelope species with the spiral horns. And they have those horns that point so far back, and that's so they can dive into the bushes. They're good at crawling through tight spaces. Now, tucked on the top of the hill on the left behind this giant cluster of bamboo, there are some more antelope out there. Those big beige ones, those are called greater kudu. Now, they're a bit more athletic than the bongo we saw at the beginning. They're better at running and leaping over the bushes. They can jump up to 6.5 feet in the air. Now, over on the right, there's a great oval right in the corner of the water back there. That is a hippopotamus. We'll do our best to try and keep an eye out for some more, but that gray oval that looks like a boulder under the water, that's a hippo. And then also in the trees, all these scruffy gray pelicans. These are pink-backed pelicans. They get their name because they have patches of pink under their wings and on their backs. There we go. And white rhinos are one of my favorite animals out here, pretty much because this is the friendliest out of the 5 of the rhino species. Essentially, they're just more social. This is actually a very young pride of lions taking over this fry rock. And 3 of these lions are 2 years old, so these are not full babies anymore, but they're still pretty young. You can see the boy right there in the middle. He still has a little mane kind of growing out of his neck. The mane takes about 5 years of fully showing out. Once again, he's 2, so he still has quite a bit. We also have these burrows coming up on the left, which indicate warthogs. Now there's a group of warthogs sleeping directly across by the ferns on the left. Now that is a group of warthogs, also known as a sounder. But they use their 2 sets of tusks that they use with their snouts and their feet to dig out these burrows. But more on them in a minute, because now we're coming up to the curve. You can still see some white rhinos sleeping in the bushes on the top of the hill on the right. And then also from this angle, we have those 2 ostrich, there they are, in between the stumps on the side of the road, and a waterbuck antelope out there grazing away. There he goes. But also in front of the warden's house, there's that yellow box suspended by chains hanging in the yard. Now that is actually a section of a beehive fence. Now how that started was the farmers in Africa were having some issues with the elephants in particular migrating through their crops, and the elephants would eat the crops, and that was frustrating. That was a loss of income for the farmers and their families. Now meanwhile, here in Animal Kingdom, the researchers here were further understanding how the elephants communicate, and they discovered that the elephants can specifically communicate to each other where the bees are, and they go around the bees. They avoid bees. So the researchers and the farmers got together. They came up with the solution of that beehive fence back there, and now the farmers line the perimeters of their crops with the beehive fences, and it works. The elephants can sense the bees and go safely around.